That's what a reckoning sounds like. I clicked it and it didn't go. Gosh, dang it.
Almost. So close. Twin Sunsets. Alright, I'm out. I'm not trying to get spoiled. I was so confused what was said.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Andor-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back! 3
Episode
times
3.
in one day.
Yeah. Yo, I'm burnt. I need to go to bed.
Andor, Season 1, Episode 3, called Episode 3. And
Jeremiah's favorite.
I'm tired.
We can just call it Reckoning.
Reckoning? I don't know, maybe. I'm tired.
Pots and pans.
Pots and pans. I want to go to bed.
You're tired.
But the fans need us.
True.
They need us. They're here for us. We're here for them. We're a team. We're a family. But yes, so this is the 3rd episode in one day. And I think I'll start out by saying my overall thoughts. Let's just jump right into it.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to start out with saying never again. No, just never. Nope. 3 episodes ago. Well,
nope.
Our luck's is going to happen again.
I thought this was a really good episode.
Yeah.
It was definitely the best one of the season so far. And the ending was intense because it was like it was just flashing between each group of people, like recovering from everything that happened, and just music, and then them going straight to the ship. And I thought it was great. I thought there was good story building and a lot of good climactic moments. It wasn't anticlimactic at all.
What's crazy is I felt like I've been watching this show for weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm so, like, I mean, I guess in hindsight, it's like a whole movie already.
Yeah. Like, I'm already yawning already.
Jeremiah's already yawning. We're 10 minutes in. This is going to be rough.
Yep.
But,
so.
Yeah.
But you thought the same?
Oh, yeah. I love this episode. Tim got what he deserved.
Never trust a Tim with 2 M's. How about that?
No. True. And if you're a Tim with 2 M's out there,
sorry, not sorry.
GG. It was nice knowing you.
I don't think that I've ever known a Tim with 2 M's.
I didn't know it was a thing. So
Tim,
but yeah,
I don't know.
And Jeremiah's favorite character. What a little wimp. Little scrub. He's a little baby over there.
What do you mean? Okay, we'll get into it later. But I don't know. I think it's going the way that I thought. Like, I think the one security guy is a jerk, and the other one, I think he's still being honest in what he's trying to do. Like, find justice for his people that got killed. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. Like, in my opinion, but we'll get into that later.
Wait,
but yeah,
Jerica's roommate's official name is Tim with 2 M's.
Roommate?
Yeah.
She has a roommate named Tim
with 2 M's. Is Tim's one of those names that can be both?
Tim.
Oh, wait. Oh, her fish. My bad. I read that
wrong. I was like, I don't think based on the school that she goes to that would be a thing.
Her roommate. I mean, Tim's could be either girl. I feel like a Tim with 2 M's is a girl's name, potentially.
I don't know. Like,
why not?
What's the full name of like a female Tim name?
What's the full name of a female Jordan name?
Okay, Jordan is a Jordan. Tim could be like Tim is short for Timothy.
Or Tim with 2 M's.
Nah, I don't think there's female name with two M's.
Oh,
Timma,
Timmy.
Timothea,
Oh, see, there you go.
Timet.
I know.
There,
I mean,
there,
my full name is a girl's name in Italian, so it could be different language too.
Andrew.
Andrea
Oh well,
is the
that's
Italian, but that's spelled the same. But the Italian version is a female name. So
well. You got Andy, which can be Y or I, and that can be so guy or female.
true.
But Tim with two M's, I don't think that's a thing. Ever
Well,
seen Greg with three G's? Gregg. That's pretty intense. I've seen that a couple times.
that's yeah.
Greg with three G's.
That's a lot.
All right, you're not here
But
about baby
anyway,
names and all that stuff, so we'll go scene by scene. So it started out what we thought was going to happen with little Casa entering into the ship that crashed, and him just kind of going in, looking around, poking dead bodies. And so I think what we can do is just talk about the flashbacks all in one thing, because this was going back and forth the whole time a lot.
fast.
So we can probably just do all the flashbacks at one time.
Yeah, we can do it that way.
So he goes in, looks around. He goes into like the main like control room area, and he sees his reflection for the first time. It seems like in the shininess of the glass covers and panels, and he's curious at first, but then like he almost gets angry. I think because like it kind of goes back to like what he was saying earlier in this or later in the show, like how the Empire they're fat and satisfied, and even though this was an Imperial ship, like he associates like nice things and fancy things with like entitled people that led to the death of his leader of his tribe, kind of thing. So I think that's kind of what started a lot of his bitterness towards powers that are at B. And so he starts wrecking things in there. And then we were kind of right about the old lady. What's her name? Marva. She just is on the planet with another guy, and they're scavenging the wreckage. Um, now, did you like that? That's what it was?
Yeah, like it wasn't exactly what I thought it was gonna be, but it worked.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of confused because Marva states that the tribe of kids killed a Republic officer, and
Mm-hmm.
then they said a Republic ship has entered into orbit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird because the logo on the people that died was separatist. So is she just assuming, has she been on this planet without contact to the outside world and maybe doesn't know
Or
about the
or
Clone War? Like, so this would be during the Clone Wars at the end of the Clone Wars, and she doesn't know about that war because she's just stranded on this planet without any contact, and
yeah, I
and
don't.
she just assumes that it's the Republic.
Jerka in the chat said as well. Okay, so I'm not the only one who thought that. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they messed it up. Maybe
they
she
can't
just.
be that blatantly wrong. Like they purposely put that logo on the uniform.
Yeah, I
I
don't know,
just
man.
I just don't know if we're gonna get an
An
explanation to
answer.
that.
Yeah,
Like, it's not.
I'll
I don't
put
know.
money down that we're not,
Yeah, we're not gonna get an answer, but
which is annoying.
right. So
Because
I'm
when
just
I
gonna.
watched, it, I was like, "What? I thought we figured out that logo already."
Yeah, and I was like, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it'll like the one, because the one that they had was 6 sides of it was a
Mm-hmm.
hexagon. They're like, oh, maybe the separatists are like a pentagon with 5 sides or something. But no, it's Separatists have 6 sides, and this logo had 6 sides.
So you looked it up again?
Yeah, so I'm like, this is redonkulous. Like, so I guess we're probably never gonna know what the issue is until 20 years from now when someone's being interviewed at Star Wars Celebration.
And they're like, oh yeah, we messed up.
But I wonder if other people are gonna catch that
Oh, I bet you
detail.
people have. I mean, Jericho did.
Right. So I guess
People are.
Jericho's other people. um. So yeah. So they go in to the ship. The Marva and Clem, I guess is the guy's name that was with her, Clem, and they're just scavenging for parts, and they're looking for fuel nodules.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the episode, when they're leaving, they have like a cart full of them, and I think those were the same things that we saw in the ship that Bix and Tim with 2 M's was working at. I had a bunch of those fuel nodules. So
And I think we've seen people scavenging for them before as well.
Yeah, so I think they got what they said, like 6 or 7 of them from that wreckage. So,
and they're wearing masks too. So I'm confused by this.
They were masked because they thought there was going to be gas because they saw people
I wonder
dead.
if that ship got gas from entering the atmosphere.
No, because
then how did they die from poison?
I think there was a leak. They were either specifically poisoned to kill them, or there was like a leak in something that fled into the ship. But then like there's that explosion on the ship when it came in. Like, what was that?
That's what I mean.
And like
they got attacked by something or something. I
don't know. But like, so when they first entered B2, like top
clean as
notch,
a whistle.
Clean as a whistle. He was right off the.
I was confused when I first. I was like, wait, what?
Right off the conveyor belt, like brand spanking new.
Clean.
All one color, could speak clearly, was quick. And so like what he says is like the air is clear in here, like there's no toxins. And so she takes her mask off, and the other guy is like she's like an anti-masker, and he's like mask everywhere he goes type of thing.
And I was gonna say we need a B2 droid to walk around with us.
Yeah.
All right, you're good. Take it off. Nope. Someone in here is
got the Rona.
Got the Rona. Got the runs. You gotta.
So I was cool to see. I figured we were gonna, if we got a flashback with him, he'd be like in perfect shape. So that was cool that we got that. So then Marva's trying to like calm Casa down because he's freaking out. He can't speak their language. He's like holding his dart gun thing, blow dart with him, trying to threaten him.
We kind of like jumped over the fact that he just started beating up the ship.
Well, I said that.
Oh,
well, he was destroying the glass, I think.
Yeah, he looked at himself in the mirror, but it makes you think though, right? Like his parents were probably killed by these people before, because he went innocent. He was so angry at them.
I don't know, because we know that his father was hung. That's what Luthen says. So,
what if his father was the reason why that mine got blown up,
or got a poison leak or something? I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, so a lot of these flashback details are really confusing with this episode. So that's like maybe like the worst part of the episode. But yeah. So anyway, Marva, she's trying to calm Casa down, and he's not. So she gets I forget what she called it, like a sleeping gas thing though. Whatever. So she grabs him and gets this canister from B2 and puffs it in his face, and he falls asleep, passes out. And so it was interesting because Clem didn't want to take his dead weight, like he can just go run away, join back with his tribe. But she's like, when the Republic gets here, they're gonna see what happened and they're gonna kill him. Which was like, huh? Like, the Republic wouldn't just randomly kill a kid like that unless it was like post Order 66 and it was clones under that, and they just are just brainless and can't think. But if it was the
It
Republic, like clones wouldn't just randomly kill a
yeah,
kid.
that's what
So,
it makes me think that Order 66 already happened and they're worried.
but then they would know that the Republic doesn't exist anymore.
But
If they
maybe
knew about
all the like logos and stuff hasn't fully like swapped over. I don't know. I don't know why they're so worried. Like you said, they want to kill kid. And why is he so angry in there? I
like I
don't
said,
know.
I think he just associates that technology with the death of his leader. Like their clean perfection, richness, and then they're poor, living off of scraps. And so it's kind of like he's angry at their privilege, as the kids say these days. So like,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. So then they end up leaving and get on the ship. And so I noticed that the ship that they escape on is the ship that he hides in the junkyard.
Yep.
So that was cool because like I
Mhm.
noticed, I didn't notice it
'Cause
the first time
that
around,
shelf came down.
but when the guy knocked the shelf down, it came down the same way, which was it was like last episode when we see that, I'm like, that's just like a
Shelf.
weird shelf. Like they purposely showed us that compartment for.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of out of place. But then here it showed it was just part of that ship.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool that they did that.
Mhm.
Um, so then that's the flashbacks, and we'll get a little bit back to that at the end with the montage type thing that they had at the end. But back in current time, Cassian is hanging out in the like the shipyard junkyard area where they're decommissioning things, taking them apart, stripping them for parts, and his friend Brasso, whatever his name is there, and he like talks to him like, "Hey, I might be getting some money, and I'm going to be gone. Like, peace out," type of thing. So
Mhm.
that was nice that he said bye to his one friend, like his closest friend,
Well,
I guess.
and he also said like, "I'm leaving the money I owe you with
With Marva, yep.
Marva, so you can go there and
And
kind of
then,
take care of her too." That seemed like.
but yeah, Cassian did say, but like, I'm gonna find a way back and come back.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing we'll see Furyk again and
I
some of
think
these people.
Marva's dead. I think she's gonna die.
She'll die eventually in the show, probably, but not anytime soon. Um, because I wonder if after everything went to crap in this episode with the mission, if they're gonna go back to her place and like take her back to the main planet for questioning and
Questioning. Yeah, well, I mean, and you guys think, I mean, we can talk about predictions at the end of this episode, but there's a lot of stuff that happened, and so I think the Empire is gonna have to get involved.
oh yeah, their next episode they're gonna be on Furyk for sure.
Yeah.
But like I'm kind of looking forward to because when the main like security boss guy left to go to that meeting with the Imperials, like
Hmm.
he's like, I better not get an incident report on my desk when I get back. Like I don't want to see that. And so now he's gonna come back, and there's gonna be like
All this.
all these folders and all these data
He went
pads.
from
Like
two dead people that should have died
yeah,
to.
like 6 people probably died in that. Well, 4 people died like in the warehouse area, and
Hmm.
then like another 6 people I think surrounded the thing.
Well, I mean, and also not including the people, like 4 people died, but we don't know how many people actually blew up in the
I think
initial
well, there
thing.
was definitely like 5 or 6 people surrounding that,
And they're all dead.
and they're probably all dead. Like one guy looks like he got blown off, and then it was like got stood up right at the end.
Yeah.
But most of the people died that went on this mission. So
And there's
that's
14 people.
yeah, and so that's a bad incident report for when that guy gets back. Like
Hey,
someone's
if you didn't
losing.
want the Empire involved before,
Yeah,
they're involved now, my dude.
no good. Um, but anyway, after he tells his friend that he's leaving and all that jazz, it flashes to Lucan landing and arriving on at the port or whatever you want to call it.
You see the stair droid?
I did. That was pretty cool.
I thought that was cool. I was like, "Oh, that droid stairs."
Yeah.
One
No,
purpose.
but that the ship when it came in and was landing, I
Mhm.
think that was like a model. I don't think that was a CG.
Yep.
It
Mhm.
looked pretty
Looked
realistic to
cool.
me. Like, so I think that was a cool model that they used. So there's another toy for you to get a
Yeah,
a, a,
probably.
a Furric Airbus.
I just want the droid stairs.
You could
That'd be cool.
build that for your house.
Ooh, that'd be
Do you even
cool.
have?
I don't even
You don't even
have
have any
that.
stairs like going
Just
in
in
and
my
out of your
attic.
house.
That would be a big droid.
Do it. um. So yeah, and then what do I have here? So Bix, she's talking to someone. Who is she talking to? Like, I just wrote that Bix is talking with. I forget. I can't remember what happened, so we're gonna skip that. But she's talking to somebody, and then M1, or I read him M1. It's the security people, the from Marlana 1. I just call them M1. So the security team, they come. They actually have a
What do they
name.
call them? The blue.
They call them Blues on the planet, and then they have like an actual name that they say in this episode. I
The
can't remember.
blues were looking for clues.
Oh, hit the button. Yep. And so they arrive on the planet and they kind of spread out and do their thing. Um, and like we said, they call them the Blues. So they land in like the wreck yard or
Yeah,
shipyard.
I
I'm
was like confused by that.
like
Is
maybe
there
it's because they figured maybe in the report that he works. He was supposed to be working in this area.
well, yeah, and we find out in this episode that's what those people were doing. Like, because before we didn't know if they worked on in a mine or like those guys that had the gloves hanged up. Like, we didn't really know what their job was. And then this episode did a really good job of showing the junkyard and them tearing apart ships and like getting material from them and stuff like that. So, but I'm like, I would not want to park in a junkyard. The chance of your ship being next on that scrap list is a lot higher than.
Or like because it's when they first show the scene, it's like they cut the whole thing down and like big huge panel
Uh
falls
huh.
down. Like they park it there, they come back and it's smashed by something that
Or
fell
it's
on
like
it.
cut in
Like
three quarters, or someone ties stuff to it and then you can't launch.
spoilers.
Either way, I'm just saying, don't park it in a junkyard if you don't.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was
It's too risky.
kind of funny, but whatever. Um, so yeah, so obviously then they're searching for everything or for clues and for him. Um, and so then, oh, I know what Bix talk was. It was she meets up with Luthen. So they're talking
Mhm.
about like the meeting where he's meeting, like what's is Cassian
Where's
trustworthy? Do you got the parts? You got the money? Like that kind of thing.
and
And
then
then
she's told him that there's an issue, and he already knew of the issue.
yep. And so there's that. And so then Cassian's waiting in this like warehouse factory thing, and then Luthen shows up, and they're just trying to make the deal. Luthen's asking questions and make sure everything's good to go, like safe, like he's not being tricked. Um, and so we get details about this device that Cassian has. And he says it tracks like Imperial starships in a 9 parsec radius. So that's good. It's like a police scanner, basically. Like
Yeah,
that you can see. I don't know how far a parsec is technically in Star Wars, like what that distance is, but
a foot.
clearly it's quite a big distance. Um,
A
and
few
so
miles, probably.
I don't know. I wonder if it says on
Well,
on
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. But obviously that's a good device to have,
Yes.
like trying to navigate, like where you can always like, oh, here's a ship this way,
I'm not gonna go there.
all that kind of stuff. So
So it's even better than what I thought. Originally, I thought it was gonna be like a map of their travel logs, but it was more like a scanner of where they're going.
Okay, so here's what. Um, so 1 parsec is equal to 3.26 light years. So then I gotta look at how many miles is a light year. Because a light year is um, the distance light can travel
A year?
in a year. So come on, Google, go. So oh gosh, that doesn't help at all either.
What is it? Numbers? Point four.
No, it's 5.879 e to the 12th power. I don't know how many miles that is.
Well, ask how much miles this is.
Oh gosh. So
Oh.
let's see if I can look at this. So I got to put commas in this. 1, 2. It's like 5 trillion.
It's a good in
It's
distance.
it's like basically the size of the whole galaxy, basically. So, um,
So yes, that's useful.
yeah. So definitely, that's a lot of coverage in like a 9. So that's a 9 parsec radius. So it's on either in all directions of you. So that's pretty.
You're set. You'll never bump into Imperial ship if by choice, not by choice ever.
Yeah. So definitely
'Cause
worth
I wonder if
the.
it will tell you as they're coming too.
I don't know if I just think if they just hit the threshold, it shows it. So that would suck if like you're like in like a busy area and then like
Hmm.
you're just swarmed by all the things are going off.
Hmm.
But definitely a good piece of equipment to have. And so then after this, Bix goes back to the shop and is talking with the I should say the guy that he's like wearing the green hoodie with like he has like the son with the green hoodie. Like we didn't get names on them, but the dad ran to the shop and like, hey, they're searching for Cassian. What's going on? What are we gonna do? Blah blah blah. And then Tim with 2 M's is on the outside, seeing that they're talking about something secretively.
Well, and then she says someone ratted on him, right? Something like that.
Yeah, someone turned him in,
Yeah, someone
and
turned him in.
so then when Tim with 2 M's comes by, he's like, just he'll be fine. And she's like, huh?
He can take care of himself.
Like she's like,
Who's
who are we
he?
even talking about? How do you know who we're talking about? And then that gave him away that he confessed to turning him in, and so obviously they're done. They're already kind of on a
Mm, they're
only
already
seeing each other once a week, and now it's probably done. So I guess that was fun while it lasted. But
literally that boy
yep.
died. But
And so and then this is then after this it goes back to Luthen, and they're just from the scene that we got a few weeks ago. It's the scene where they're so proud and fat and happy and satisfied, and you can just
mhm.
walk in there and take as long as you just pretend to be one of them, like they don't even notice. And so that's how
Yeah,
he
so well, because he talks like he's with Andor at this point,
right,
Luthen. So they're talking about that because he was wondering how was able to get it because it's not just because apparently how he comes and buys stuff is that when there's ships that are destroyed from the Empire, he'll pay the guys or he's able to get into the ship before it's fully taken apart and he gets parts of Imperial things that are valuable and then sells it to him.
right,
So, but this is a little bit more than that because this has a seal. This is a bigger deal. So, and then he says that line where the Imperials are fat and happy, and you can just go in under their nose because they're not.
yeah,
There's no threat to them at all right now.
right. And so this is kind of like so obviously we learned this episode that Luthen has been resisting the Empire for a while now. But here he finally learned something new that
Mhm.
Cassian kind of brings light to him. Like they're not as yes, they're strong and powerful and they oppress the galaxy, but there's because of their arrogance and pride, they're kind of easy to infiltrate. And Luthen didn't realize that. So now he's like, oh, I can learn from Cassian. But obviously, I need to. And we learned that Cassian is very ignorant in how to deal with being a rebel in any more efficient way. So we'll get a couple lessons later on in the episode from Luthen. Um, but while all this is happening, the the Blues they're going around the town, knocking on doors and trying to do all this jazz, and um, we get the thing that we saw in the trailer of them
Pots and pans.
clanging on something. Like, okay, that's not going to make a lot of noise. Like, why are they clanging on it? But what they do when problems arise, conflicts arise, the Blues arrive, whatever, everyone just starts clanging on these things. A chain reaction. One person starts it, and then someone, half, you know, 20 feet away, they start doing it, and then the whole neighborhood is doing it, and so then everyone knows something's going down. Everyone goes home, gets off the streets, um, and then for the rest of the episode, for a lot of it, it's you just hear these clangs nonstop in the background, and so um, while this is happening, um, the Blues arrive at the factory, and Luthen sets some charges on the door that he blows up to kill one or two of the officers. And then there's a firefight going on, blah blah blah, and then it flashes to Bix running. I didn't notice it the first time through, but the reason the Blues stop her while she's running is because she's running against the grain of the crowd. The crowd is all running one way, and she's running the opposite way. And the guy that sees her and stops her is like, "You're not running home, are you?" So it kind of like gave
Mhm.
away that she's trying to protect Cassian in a sense. At least that's what the officer, the blue guy, was implying, and he was right. And so they capture her, um, and while she's being captured and held down, Tim with two M's is going to try and to redeem himself. He's going to save the damsel in distress, and then they're going to live
Well, she got
happily
beat
ever
up.
after.
That
Right.
one guy was really rough with her.
And so he's going to come and like rescue her, and she's going to forgive him and all that stuff. And then he
Boy,
got
is
shot.
shot.
He got shot dead. Tim with two M's. He didn't make it to Rogue One. We didn't see him. Yep.
But I was
What?
happy when he died.
Oh, I'm like, he didn't make it. Okay.
I was like, that's what the rat gets. He was
Yep. Um, and so boom, boom, boom. What else happened? So then they're pinned down in the factory. Cassian and Luthen. They're still firefighting back and forth. Um, and then it goes to Marva's house, and the two guards that stayed. I guess we missed that the guards went to the house and tore apart the house trying to find.
Mhm.
We missed that because the reason the guards found where Cassian is because they can apparently track comms now. Like I didn't know that was a thing. So
Yeah.
the because B2 had a comm on them, and they were and when Cassian commed B2, they were there with the droid, and they were
Well,
able
and
to
that's also
track it.
why I that was one thing too, because when the Blues were in the hut with her, interrogating her, not letting her speak, destroying the place, the droid wasn't gonna say anything, and then Cassian was talking to the droid before what's his name got there. At that point, I was like, "Oh, she's screwed now." because she's 100% affiliated with Cassian.
Wow. That's where
And
his
at
registered address was, so
Yeah.
she was
And
already
but
like
with
that.
that too, it's like, did you notice that her friend walked outside and he was the one that initiated the clinging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the guy that told Bix
Yeah.
that Cassian was being chased. So it was him and his son with the
No, 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 no. Like right away when they're outside, when everyone got mad at the guards when they left her place to go track, they're like, "Oh," the guards were like, "Oh, we're causing a scene," and then yeah, and then the little kids realized and
yeah,
they
the
started to
teenager
cling.
goes runs to his
But
dad.
that guy that started that scene outside of her house and was like, "Oh, there she's this old lady or whatever." That was the a black guy that was with her to when they found Cassian.
What which guy? I'm sorry, I don't know
So
which.
in the flashback when they found
You're saying
Cassian
one of
and
the
took him.
blues is the black guy from the
No, no, no,
flashback?
no, no. It was one of the random civilian guys.
Oh, I
Probably didn't yeah. But when they're outside the house and like, she's this old lady. What are you being picking on her for and stuff like that? When they're all outside the house, when they left to go find track Cassian down, the guy that was out there that started that was the guy who found Cassian with her.
oh, I didn't notice. I don't. Are you sure?
Yeah, because
I couldn't
he
even
was
tell
just
you what that
slightly
guy looks
different.
like. He's like in there for like 3 seconds the whole episode. It's like
A little bit more in the whole flashbacks.
I couldn't even reckon. I wouldn't be able to recognize
Yeah.
because he had his mask on the whole time. I can't know what a guy
No,
with a
he took it
mask is.
off. He took it off later on.
I don't know. I guess I'm sorry I didn't
That's okay.
notice.
But yeah, so
But see, where were we? So they have so it's just her in the house with two guards, and she starts commenting about the clanging, and like it's really annoying. You want to stop. It's like a reckoning. It never stops. And then like one of the officers is just mad at her, like tell her to shut up. The other guy was like trying to like, can you explain this to me? Like what's going on? Like I'm scared right now. And then she says something like, but it's the worst when it stops. And he's like, well, what happens when it stops? And then she just says nothing. And I'm like, oh dang, like what's gonna happen? Um, but a little cliffhanger halfway through the episode. Um, and so they the gunfight's going on at the thing, and they kind of get to a point where they stop all of those guys in the factory. And during this time, Cassian's trying to get that device, which he can't get to because these big giant things are falling from the ceiling because of the
mhm.
explosion.
Yeah, that was such an interesting, cool scene. How they implement like all those chains and how dangerous it was, and it was
Yep,
really cool.
it was definitely like a video game level.
Yeah,
All these things falling from
like
the ceiling, and you
dodge.
got
Like
like
I can imagine
dodging.
playing that level, and then you slide to try to get the box, and the box blows up as you're grabbing it, or like
Yeah,
your hand gets crushed if you do it wrong and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I actually liked that scene a lot.
yeah.
I can
So
imagine people would not like it, but I thought it was cool.
yeah, so they get out of that by going to like was like the furnace opening or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and so when um, they escape, and then they're like trying to figure out, okay, we gotta get us to a speeder, blah blah blah. Like, and then so then like they realize that the only way that Cassian and Luthen can escape is if they go through like this main road in town. So they kind of go to the sides of the streets and under roofs, and they're waiting for them to come. And that's when the the clanging stops, and that's when it was actually kind of scary. I real a lot of tension. Like
Mhm.
everyone was scared, and it
Well,
happened.
yeah, and even when she was guarded by those 2 people, she was talking about how, like, "Does this terrify you?"
Right.
It's more scary when it stops. It's like,
right. And so it stops, and then as uh, Karn is looking outside through a door, Cassian puts a gun to his head and takes his comm, takes his gun, as one
beats him
does.
up.
And so,
Crushes his comm.
huh?
He
Oh yeah,
steps on the comm.
smashes that. So there's that, and so then it's like, well, how is this all gonna play out? So what they should have done though, like when they captured him, they should have just like had a civil conversation with him over
Over
a
some tea
tea would
or
be good, or a nice hot
coffee.
beverage. Everyone, because if you noticed, when people are breathing, it's cold air, and Marva needs to turn her heat up, like you keep saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crisp morning,
Desert morning.
and you gotta, what do you
Climate.
do in the morning? You drink coffee to warm up and that. But luckily, we have a source of coffee for our fans if they want coffee or tea. Our sponsor, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea, is our little sponsor, so let's take a little commercial break for them.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. So, Karn is captured. We don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know why they spared him. Like, it's not like they, tortured him to get information or anything. It's like we have seen that he just is tied up and left behind.
Because
so,
Cassian's not an evil person.
He murdered that guy in the first episode, in the first 5 minutes of the show.
Because he was going to get told on.
And what's going to happen here?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
He's surrounded by all these soldiers and getting shot at.
Evil person. And half those people that died in this episode, it's not by Cassian. Majority of them is actually done by the other dude. Well, and it's so that your favorite character is still around. That's why.
Karn, yep, he's a cool guy. I have no complaints against him, but anyway, he's captured. They just capture him. Whatever. So then it flashes to the guy who shot and killed Tim with 2 M's. He gets sent earlier when it happens back to the ship to like bring air support and be like help them if they need to like transport or whatever. So he's sent back to the work area, the shipyard area, to get the ship. He gets the ship, powers it up, and our boy Brasso, his Cassian's buddy, tied a rope to it. Now, at first, when it taken off, I thought it was just like leaking fuel. That's what like the string was coming out.
Really, you didn't understand that?
Well, when all you see is a white line.
Oh, you thought that guy?
I thought it was fuel.
Just to make
I thought it was fuel. He just leaked the fuel. Obviously, a second later, you see it's connected to another.
Well, yeah.
ship.
At first, I was like, "Oh, he broke the ship," and then it took off, and then then you realize it's dragging.
So then that swinging back and forth gets caught on something, and then it.
I don't know why you wouldn't just strip land it as soon as you realize something's pulling against your ship. This guy was in full panic mode. Obviously
I don't
not
know.
the
It
original
happened pretty
pirate.
quick. Like, it's hard to.
Just drop it back down. Like he just started like. Granted, he
I'm.
just killed someone, so maybe he is kind of in panic mode. Because it seems like he wasn't supposed to be that rash and kill someone. So
I don't know. It happened so quick. I don't think he had time to figure out what was going on.
is it like a helicopter, like something that throws off a little bit can like make you go out of control completely?
Probably
Yeah,
makes
probably.
sense. So then it's funny because the guy that I don't like, the one bad guy in the group, like the crash happens and he doesn't realize it's their ship. He just thinks it's like more people like coming to like fight against them, and like, oh, it's a siege, we're surrounded, like they're coming from all directions. Like he's freaking out when it's not that at all. But what are you supposed to think? Like, you don't know what's going on. Like the
No,
clanging stopped. You don't know what's going on.
It's a good
So
tactic, and also like Cassian didn't know that was gonna happen either.
right.
Like, that part wasn't even planned, or the clinging, or any of that stuff. So.
Right. And so that happens, and then one of the other soldiers finds Karn and says, "Hey, that's them escaping." And so they rigged up one of the speeders with remaining explosives so that they would chase after that, and then they had a regular Andor speeder, or not Andor speeder. What do they even call it? Like, what's the actual like
speed bike?
Speed bike? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Speeder bike. And then they go off in the opposite direction, and then they blow the charges and kill everybody that was by there, and then everyone's mad and shocked and all that jazz.
Dead.
Yep. And so then this is kind of like where the episode takes like a little like the dialogue is over, and then it's just like a few minutes of like, you know, flashing to Marva crying in her house, and then it goes to Bix being like, because she was handcuffed to something, and it's the guy helping her to get out of that. And then it's just them on the speeder racing across fields and through the mountains and trying to get back to the ship. We see his friend Brasso, just a flash to him. So it's kind of like the fight happened, and everyone's now breathing and like cleaning up and all that stuff, while the music is, it's like a lot of like orchestra string music, and then
yeah, it's pretty good.
And then it kind of flashes back and forth between Lil Cassian being rescued by Marva, and then Cassian leaving with Luthen. Kind of back, same kind of imagery of him being put on a ship, looking through the front of the ship as they're leaving the planet, like in both flashback and current. And so, yeah. And then it ends. Cool. So we don't know how it's going to play out next, other than I'm assuming the head boss guy from the security team is going to come back, like we said, all those reports. And there's going to be a lot of fallout. The Empire is going to come. And that's it. We don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
I'm hoping we get some Mon Mothma action next week. But I don't know. But so far, I really like the show. It's very different.
I think we'll definitely get Mon Mothma next week. I think that's where they're going to go.
I hope so.
Yeah. It kind of did feel like an end of an arc, kind of, too.
Right. So it might start do you think that they would skip having Cassian for an arc to focus on Mon Mothma? Like where she gets a 3-episode arc and there's not really any Cassian?
Maybe.
or do you think he's still going to be like the main thing and
Well,
Mon
in the
Mothma's side?
trailer, that one guy, he has long hair when he's like talking to Mon Mothma.
Right, so that's flashbacks then,
So
probably.
it's definitely flashback stuff. Probably maybe even before the Empire took over.
Nah, I don't think it's that early because Mon Mothma, I don't think we saw her in Clone Wars, did we? We might have actually did see her in Clone Wars.
We did.
But like she was more, I don't know. I don't think the flashes would be to the Republic. I think it would just be because he says like I've watched the Empire for too long in the trailer.
Jericho said we definitely did see her in the Clone Wars.
So I don't think it'll flash back that far. I don't. It wouldn't make sense to like go back that far.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But I don't know. It's hard to, now. We don't know. We just like I said, we don't know what to expect now because the show is so different, and most of the stuff that we saw in the trailer was in these first 3 episodes.
She was in an arc with Padme.
I don't know. I'd have to
remember
go back and look.
A Senate arc.
But I don't know. Most of the trailer has been used up, other than the Mon Mothma stuff. It seems like.
And what's his name too? That actor that's famous. What's his name? He was in Rogue One.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be next. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna go see him.
Go see him. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And then maybe we'll get flashbacks of the Mon Mothma stuff.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think there would have to be current stuff with Mon Mothma because you wouldn't do flashbacks with her unless there's like a current Mon Mothma and then you're flashing back. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. It was very impactful, very high energy, very fast paced. Jeremiah kind of skipped over the part where his boy was kind of in shock and didn't know what to do and was kind of stunned and was kind of weak sauce. But
it wasn't weak. How is he weak? Because
he couldn't do anything. He froze on the battlefield because he was.
That doesn't mean you're weak.
And also, it showed that he was very inexperienced when it actually come to real life experiences. He was only really
That's
good.
not a real life experience. You don't experience that. Like you can't prepare for that.
Yes, you can. That's your job. It seemed like when he was in the ship, even to land there, he was scared. Like it was showing that he was like very by the book, but he was also only reading books. He didn't have like real.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the proper way is to know what to do after everyone in your crew just got killed.
No, I mean it was an intense moment, but he did freeze.
What's wrong with? There's nothing wrong with freezing people.
In battle, that could become a problem.
The battle is over.
Not really, because they didn't get their guy.
The battle is over, though. The firefight is done. The people got away. I'm just saying you shouldn't shame someone because they don't act the way in a traumatic experience the way you think they should.
Well, it just reminded me of like watching like a war movie where like the general is frozen because he's in shock of what happened, or he's having like when they always show like when you're watching war movies and there's this one guy that's not ready to be there and he just freezes and then they medically discharge him because he can't do anything. It reminded me of that. Like he was a lot of talk, but then when it actually came down to actually being tough and doing it, his body froze because he's not there yet. He wasn't ready. I don't think he was ready for what Cassian.
Okay.
I love that you love this dude so
I just don't know why you got to hate
on
him for standing there. I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing. That doesn't make him a bad character.
No, I don't think it makes him a bad character. If anything, it just makes him.
It shows that he's more emotionally invested into it because he's not resorting to like anger like all these other people. Like he's
You think he was potentially in shock because they didn't kill him?
no, it's because the whole thing went south. They were just supposed to go in there and arrest the guy,
Yeah, he's probably in shock because
and everyone in it, half the people in his crew got
he
killed.
has to give out that paperwork now. He's
Right,
probably in
but
shock of that. Like, oh frick, this I wasn't even supposed to look into this now.
right,
So it would be interesting to see what happens to his character.
right. So
Because in the last episode, I was gonna say that he turned evil. He joined the Empire. I feel like I don't think the Empire's. If Vader saw him do that, Vader would just choke him and kill him.
I don't.
Vader killed the good generals. Why would he kill? He'd be like, all right, next.
I don't know. I don't think they were. I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on the competency of these people.
That's fair.
But anything else before we transition to everyone's favorite part of the show?
No, I don't think so.
All right, cool. So let's transition over to voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Well, surprisingly, we only have 2 voicemails tonight. Last week, we only had 3. This week, we only have 2. So hopefully
Next week we better not just have one.
hopefully the streak will continue. Hopefully it's not dying out, the voicemail time. But so we have 2 tonight, like I said. First one is from a familiar voice, but they're going through an identity crisis. So I won't even name who it is, but you'll hear who it is in a second. So let's listen to our first one for tonight.
Hey, Empire Radio, this is Jedi. Well, Jedi Master. I'm not really a Jedi anymore. Something happened this afternoon at the Jedi Temple that I don't really want to talk about. But point being, I'm no longer on the Jedi Council, so it's just Caden now. And so in my free time, I've been able to listen to y'all's podcast, and it's been really enjoyable catching up on some of the much earlier episodes, and just really good. And you really just inspired me to create a podcast. Like before y'all, I never really listened to podcasts and didn't really know a lot about it, but y'all really inspired me to just do that. So I created Ear Doodle Podcast and just released my second episode talking about my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters. So if y'all want to go check that out, that'd be awesome. And I just wanted to thank y'all so much for being an inspiration for my podcast career. Anyway, may the Force be with you always.
All right, cool. Thanks for the message, Caden. So, did you say Airdo podcast? Eardo?
So.
I don't know. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find what it is. But maybe Caden send us an email or another voicemail.
Yeah, send us a link and like a fan email, and then we can
or something like that.
shout out for you a little bit.
Or join
better.
a Discord.
Or do that.
So that's exciting that you're starting that. And it's cool that we are the inspiration for that. And man, a lot of people have been starting podcasts.
Oh, what is all this?
So we got Caden, Brady / Zarnatopia Sipnar III in the Discord and then the chat started a podcast, the Gungan one, the Gungan Army podcast or Grand Gungan. I can't remember what it is. Something about Gungans.
Grand Gungan something.
And then I think it was Darth Bane in the Discord. He started a podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
He just started that yesterday or today. He released that, I think. And then Lucy, she started hers, a few months ago. And so
y'all all starting your own. Don't forget about us.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody still makes time for us. But I see Darth Bane is the Franchise Den is the name of his podcast. So he's doing like all kinds of stuff like movies and shows and different franchises. So
cool.
That's cool. And so yeah, so another extension of Empire Radio is Caden's thing. So I definitely check that one out if you send us a link or something for that.
Yes.
Cool. Hopefully you get some good content out there and have some fun ideas and keep an engaged audience and all that jazz. Maybe we'll send in a voicemail to you if you're on Anchor.
True.
All right, cool. Thank you, Caden, for that voicemail. And we just have one last one from Addie.
Oh, so Will said that he sent one, but it must have not went through. But yeah,
When did he send it?
I don't know. He just said, "Did you get my voicemail?" I don't know if it's
Oh, I
sent.
can check it if there's one right now in the emails. Nope.
I didn't get a
Nothing.
notification. So
No email, Will. Sorry. I guess you gotta save it till next week.
true. Send it again. But Addie.
Addie, let's listen to Addie.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Addie back at you with another voicemail. I've been meaning to ask this question for a long time, but in the spirit of Andor, why not do it today? So, here I go. A lot of Star Wars characters have pretty sick accents, including Andor. That's why I chose to send in this voicemail today. So I was wondering, out of any Star Wars characters' accents, which one would you want to have or to work on? Me, personally, I already have one. I have a Australian/New Zealand accent because I was working on Omega stuff. I practiced it for 2 months. Anyway, unfortunately, I'm running out of time. Hope you have an awesome day, and may the force be with you. Bye!
All right, thank you, Addie, for that. And yes, the accents are strong in Andor.
Yeah,
a lot of them are like Irish accents.
Jeremiah literally has to watch with subtitles because it's hard to understand.
So, what accent would you like to have, Drew?
I like Thrawn's accent a lot. Very unique.
That's not an accent. That's just the way he talks, the cadence of his voice. I don't know if you can call that an accent.
I think anyone can call any accent an accent. Depends on how you're viewing it, right? People say we have accents.
Well, yeah, but it's an accent is something different than your own.
Well, yeah, I don't talk the way he talks. He has like
That's
such
not
a defined.
That's just
it sounds European. I don't know.
That's just the cadence of his voice. Like he very lightly and very intellectually. Like it's.
That's true, I guess.
He doesn't like change the pronunciation of words, sound of words. So
I don't know though. In Star Wars, I have no idea.
So, well, we hear a lot of British
Jerica
accents.
says, "I think it counts," so I'm gonna go with that.
Well, what does Jerica know?
Okay.
She's on 5 cups of coffee today.
That's true. She's a
little on edge. But I don't know. I don't know, because probably the main accent we get in Star Wars is British. That's the main one. But
because
I'm not a fan
of actors we get are British actors for Star Wars.
Yeah, but even then they use American accents like Finn and Rey.
Yeah, but Rey is
she's
true.
British, or she's British, so she has an accent normally, and she's just using an American accent for the movies. But I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm not a fan of accents. But a fun fact though about Clone Wars arcs is that when you hear different alien groups with their accents, like those like story arcs in Clone Wars align with historical things that those accents are based off of. So like the Twi'leks have a French accent, and so it's like those arcs that are about them resisting. It's like the French resistance that happened in like the 1800s or something like that. The Pantora arc where like they go to that snow moon with those furry guys. Like that's the people from Pandora with the blue skin. They have a South African accent. So like that story is kind of like South Africa and apartheid type of thing. So if you listen to the different accents in story arcs, it kind of points to actual historical arcs from those countries in our world. So that's a fun fact about Clone Wars. I think of accents in the world. I think Irish is okay, even though sometimes like the super thick Irish is super hard to understand. But a slight Irish accent is kind of cool. And then I think I prefer New Zealand accents over Australian accents, just because New Zealand their pronunciation is more same as us. It's just a little different. Whereas Australia, we love you, Australia, but sometimes you add letters to your words that just don't make sense. So
I love Irish accent, a thick one, like Conor McGregor's.
Oh, okay.
I would love that. But,
yep, that's gonna definitely make you a better fighter.
True. Or Paddy the Baddy is. Have you heard his?
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
He's another UFC fighter. He has like a thick, like Beatles accent, but it's like so hard to understand what he's saying.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of voicemails. Just two tonight, like I said. And so thank you, Caden.
Yeah, thank you so
Addie.
much.
Sorry, Will, that yours didn't come in.
He sent 2.
2?
Yeah, and they both didn't come, so I don't know, Will. Something happened on your end.
Due to...
He said he sent in one 2 days ago and then one last week.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Will. Something's wrong. I don't know. Oh, don't hit the cricket button. So I don't know what the deal is with that, Will. Hopefully that can get figured out soon. Or try a different device or something. But yeah. So we should quick listen to a little commercial from Lucy.
Another voicemail?
Kind of like a voicemail. I couldn't find a spot to play this, so I guess I should have done it during like the fighting because I did that
during the comm.
Yeah, so let's just listen to Lucy for a special message tonight.
Hey everyone, Fictional Lucy here. If you're wondering what all that shooting is in the background, that's because I'm in a laser battle. So I need you to hear this very important message. You see, I'm from the Voicemail Cinematic Universe, which is an original Star Wars audio drama created by Empire Radio fans through voicemails. This battle is really intense, but you can't see the true drama of it since this is just audio. That's what I need your help with. You need to illustrate the VCU. That's right, I need a picture to go along with every voicemail in this story. Any type of media, Lego, painting, digital, anything. Just go into the description of this episode and find the link that takes you directly to a Google Doc. It'll tell you exactly how to submit your work. So please, start illustrating and get me out of this mess. I really hate this guy, but in the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do
it. Yep. So if you are an artist, we need your help. Click the link in the description below, and you can definitely check out all the remaining voicemails for the VCU that need to be illustrated. So any kind of art, drawing, painting, digital, sculpture, Lego, go right ahead. Do it. It'll be really fun. We got a lot to do. Hopefully we can get it done by Christmas. That'd be a fun Christmas Day surprise for everybody. But it's all up to you guys to get it done. So, but other than that, let's just go over socials and we can get out of here for tonight. So, also in the description below is a link to our landing page, links.co/Empire Radio. Links for everything for Facebook, Instagram, a link to join the Discord, our fan email, also as well as the link to the VCU stuff is also in this landing page, and a link for the needlesslynerdy.com podcast network, which we're part of, and YouTube link. Follow us on YouTube and Twitch also if you want to look at, if you're new, because we know we get a bunch of new people for Andor for show breakdown. So now that we're doing Andor, we're getting a lot more listeners. So definitely, if you want to watch a video version, do live streams. on Twitch, and then we post the video also on YouTube if you want to watch it there as well. Follow us there. Help us like our videos. Follow us. Let's get some more followers. We could always do that.
And there's
that's-
also more stuff on the YouTube channels as well, like other videos and also watch parties of all the Andor episodes. So you want to make sure you guys go over to YouTube and support us over there as well.
Yep. So Drew does the watch parties for new shows that come out. He does that usually just before we record. And so as of right now, we are going to be doing the breakdowns on Wednesday nights for a little bit. That schedule might change to like Thursdays maybe in a few weeks, but we'll see how that plays out. But we'll let you know. So best way to do that is follow us in the Discord when we make schedule changes and stuff if that happens last minute and whatnot. But yeah, follow us, join the Empire.
Yep.
And that's about it. So anything else, Drew, before we log off until next week?
No, that should be it for me.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Wizard episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.